In my first quick tips episode on how to align boxes, I showed you a loot room design with the TC and 4 large chests, which are frequently used in the starter units of my base designs. While fitting the largest number of chests wasn't really the point of the video, it prompted a lot of comments on how many more chests you guys were able to fit. In this episode, I demonstrate how to build hyper-efficient loot rooms, that is, loot rooms with the largest possible number of chests. Since such builds require perfect alignment of the boxes, I'll make sure to explain you all those little tricks that I use to get the alignment right. First, we start off with a design by Zedge, which fits 7 large boxes into a 1x1. I found it easiest to achieve this placement while the loot room is still upgraded to stone. First, we place the rear box. Move into the rear left corner of the loot room. Then align the box by clipping it in and out of the wall, as I explained in the previous quick tips episode. Once the edges of the box emerge from the wall at the same time, it should be perfectly aligned. If your avatar is perfectly close to the wall, this should be very easy to achieve. The second box should be easy to place. Move your avatar against the left wall, and from this position the box should align itself perfectly. You might have to wiggle the mouse a bit to ensure that the head of the box is as close to the rear wall as possible. For the third box, again move your avatar against the wall, this time on the right hand side. Wiggle the mouse a little bit to ensure that the box is as far forward as it can be. Jump onto the third box to place the fourth box. Align it by clipping it in and out of the wall and move it as close to the right as possible. Verify that you can still place a double door frame before you continue. To place the upper boxes, we need to attach a triangle. The triangle should be attached on the opposite side of the first box, otherwise the first box will be close to impossible to reach. Since here all walls are full walls, we have to use the little trick with placing a temporary twig wall outside of the loot room. Now you should be able to place this triangle floor. Add another twig triangle to make the placement of the boxes easier. We place the rear box first. This time we align it with the line on the triangle floor tile. If the box is placed correctly, its edge should be very close to that line. Second, we place the forward box on the white side of the triangle. Align it by clipping it in and out of the wall. Then move it as close as possible to the first box without changing the rotation. The last box will go onto the tip of the triangle. To make the alignment that easy, push yourself against the wall on the right hand side and wiggle with the mouse until the box turns blue. Then push it as far forward as you can. If done right, you can still place the door frame, and you can reach the rear box by jumping onto the closest box on the ground. Congratulations, you've just built one of the most efficient loot rooms in Rust. Now let's repeat this exercise, but this time we include the TC. Move into the corner and place the TC facing sidewards. It's more important that the TC is placed against the back than to the left. The first box will be aligned by clipping it in and out of the wall. It needs to be flat against the rear wall. Then move your avatar against the left wall to place the second box. Make sure to move the mouse a bit to see how far forward you can place this box. The third box goes in front of the TC. Position your avatar on the line on the ground, this way it should be easy to place. Try to get it as close to the TC as possible for better mobility. Now we repeat the exercise of placing a temporary twig triangle outside of the loot room to place the triangle for the upper boxes. I know that sometimes people have issues placing this triangle. One thing you can check if there's a bag in the way. The first upper 2 boxes are placed the same way as before. Align the rear box along the line on the triangle floor tile. Align the second box by clipping it in and out of the wall. The last box is best placed from U-shaped stairs. Please note that with this design, it's very hard to reach the rear box. It works best by standing on an item and jumping, which can be kind of a hassle. But then again, it also creates a quite well-hidden box that raiders might miss. If you prefer easy access to all boxes, place 2 small boxes instead. And voila, one of the most efficient TC loot rooms in Rust. And I'm saying one of the most efficient because there's always room for improvement. For example, if you're willing to place the TC last and have one box sticking out of the loot room, you can fit 6 accessible large boxes by using this design of Lord Desert. I hope this little tutorial helps you to make your loot rooms as efficient as possible. Until then, Evil Wurst out. When I introduced my video on how to build an efficient 2x1 starter base, I considered it to be a filler between main base videos. Your overwhelming response showed me that there's a real need to see how to build those tried and true standard bases. Today, I'll walk you through building an efficient version of the other most popular starter base, the 2x2. The 2x2 gets its name from the fact that the basis of it is a 2x2 grid of square foundations. The design I am presenting today is meant as a starter base. No exploits such as stability bunkers or vanishing loot, just a simple and efficient starter base that can be built in tiny increments. It features an airlock with windows to all sides, a utility space,
Your skill has increased.
a secondary loot room with 4 large boxes, 3 furnaces, 3 sleeping bags and a workbench, and a main loot room with 5 large boxes and the TC. Once you obtain 3 garage doors, the main loot room is protected from 12 rockets or 600 explosive ammo. At the same time, the base is cheap to build and
Your
to
skill has
maintain.
increased.
I used only the minimal set of upgrades on the honeycomb necessary to maintain that 12 rockets worth of protection to keep cost and upkeep down. To maintain the base, it takes just 1 metal and 2 stone nodes per day. If you were to buy those materials at Outpost, this would be just 164.5 scrap per day, which makes it roughly 14 scrap for each rocket it is protected from. Funnily, this makes it one of the most efficient bases in terms of cost to protection ratio on my channel. Before we jump into the build, let's talk about 2x2s in general. Many 2x2s I see, for example in videos, look like this. An open 2x2 space with a triangle airlock. This is an easy 8 satchel or 2 rocket raid. A very common way to extend the 2x2 is to add 1 layer of honeycomb and move the airlock to the side, adding 2 more doors. A door rate is now 16 satchels or 4 rockets.
Your skill has increased.
Okay, but not great. The main problem remains. Once raiders enter the main 2x2, they have access to all items. Further, it requires you to farm enough material with your rock to build the whole structure from scratch. One thing I tried to argue in my video on the 2x1 is start small. As back then, we start with a 1x1 with a wooden double door. Sit sideways. Fill the 1x1 temporarily with your sleeping bags and a few small boxes. As said in the 2x1 video, don't be afraid to use wood temporarily and upgrade parts to stone whenever you farm the node. Then, extend the build into a 2x1 with a double door on the same side as the TC. Place 3 furnaces on the opposite side and start smelting. Use the metal fragments to replace all doors with sheet metal doors. Build a workbench that goes next to the door and start crafting large boxes. Clear out the 1x1 to build the main loot room. For the box placement, we use the strategy that I presented in my hyper-efficient loot room design tutorial. The boxes need to be perfectly aligned for this design to work. Watch the tutorial in case you want to learn how to do that easily. The link is in the description. Please note that sometimes it can help to upgrade the double door frame to sheet metal or to leave it wood when placing those boxes. Having the TC on the left hand side makes it easier to access it. You should be able to fit 3 sleeping bags in before replacing the double door. Remember that you can always hatchet out the tier 1 workbench and replace it with a tier 2 workbench if you desire. Now that the 2x1 is done, it's time to extend the base into a 2x2. As you can already start to see, the inner part won't be as open as the easy to raid examples that I showed you earlier. Instead, we will compartmentalize the inner 2x2. There are 2 main strategies to do that. One strategy is to create a set of doorways forming a U shape. This is the safest design as it allows to put another 3 doors between the airlock and the main loot room. This shape can either be upside down or sideways, depending on how you continue after the first door. Another strategy is to create an F shape, which here is a mirrored F. In this design, 2 loot rooms are right next to each other, separated by a solid wall. This design has the advantage that the second loot room can be filled up with items without blocking the way in and out of the base. The disadvantage is that fewer doors separate raiders from main loot and that they can use splash damage to their advantage. Keep these design variations in mind as they make it harder for raiders to guess in which square the TC and the main loot is located. For this design we're going to use the U shape. Here I'm using a single door for the outer wall and a double door inside of the 2x2. On the outside we add a triangle airlock. A metal shop front goes to the left, a single door to the right. With both doors open, you can fight door campers without risking them to go deep. If you plan to use the base long term,
You've
consider
been
using
examined.
double doors instead, so later you can replace them with the much more durable garage doors. If you use the base as a starter, I'd save the gears and go with the benefit of having an extra airlock. The back can house more boxes for your less important loot. I found that salvaged shelves with boxes placed in an L shape provide the best mobility. A barbecue can go next to the boxes. The research table fits nicely next to it, and you can even place another box underneath it. If you obtain one, you can even fit a locker against this wall and still walk through the gap without getting stuck. Next, we extend the base further for the outer airlock. Place 2 more triangles and a square foundation in front of the current exit. Close off this side with walls and ceilings. Then place a doorway to the left and wall frames everywhere else. These 2 wall frames will hold metal shop fronts. The other 2 will hold doors. Make sure that the double door opens outwards to block the entrance while it is open. Have the single door open inwards so you can close it from safety when you get killed with both doors open. The open space can be used to put down the repair bench when you need it. This type of airlock is something you don't commonly see in 2x2s. The 2 reasons why I added it are: it adds the number of doors required to bring the raid cost up to 12 rockets, and the 3 shop fronts allow to check a large area around the base for door campers. Let's turn towards upgrading the base to achieve those 12 rockets worth of protection. As soon as you research garage doors, replace all double doors with them. Then, upgrade the starter 2x1 to sheet metal. Don't forget the inner walls of the main loot room. The main loot room is now protected against 8 rockets from all sides. The next step is to add honeycomb. Build triangle foundations all around the 2x2 like this. Now there are 2 ways to fill in the walls. You can either just build the outer walls or fill in the inner walls as well. If raiders decide to blow in through the honeycomb and the inner walls are left out, they can subsequently use splash damage to get into 2 compartments at once. The inner walls prevent that. Here I'm leaving them out to keep the cost down, and because a single layer of walls already matches the cost to a doorway to the TC. Here I'm adding the ceiling last, but it's actually easier to add it before placing the walls. Next, build yourself a way to get on top of the base. Surround the inner 2x2 with a ring of half walls. Again, if you want to protect the base from splash damage, also fill the inner spaces with half walls. And since clever raiders could backward pick them, they should be upgraded to sheet metal to be effective. As before, I'm leaving them out to keep costs down, and because a single extra roof layer is sufficient to keep the TC protected from 12 rockets. Now that the honeycomb is complete, raiders now either need to go through 1 stone and 1 sheet wall, 2 stone walls and 2 garage doors, 4 sheet metal doors and 1 sheet wall, or 4 sheet metal doors and 3 garage doors in order to reach main loot. And voila! A simple and efficient 2x2 base design. Ideal for the start of the wipe if a 2x1 is too small for your group. May it bring you safely through early wipe. Until then, Evil Wurst out. You're joining your team late on wipe day and you're waking up in a 2x2. Your team has already amassed riches and made a few enemies in the process. Eventually, they will come for you. The question is, will you be ready? Meet the Alamo. Standard 2x2 turned into a daunting multi-TC fort with inner and outer peak downs. The 2x2 at the core is flanked by 2 external parts that upkeep most of the battlements. It makes use of this incredibly elegant footprint, which gives the design several advantages. First, the design is compatible with any standard honeycomb 2x2 as long as it fits in this footprint and has roof access. While I will show you a durable 2x2 bunker base that you can use, you're free to combine the battlements with your own 2x2. Second, while the Alamo is a multi-TC design, it's the most simple one. Multi-TC, in particular with a lot of external TCs, can seem intimidating and tedious to set up. This base only has 2 external TCs, limiting the effort required to build it. Third, most multi-TC bases come with notable gaps between the individual base parts, through which raiders can shoot at you and at the base. One popular approach to fix this is the use of roof ramps as cover, a concept I introduced in the multi-TC Grand Frustrator. The walls of the Alamo, in contrast, have no notable gaps. In case you're wondering, the footprint does not just work for 2x2s, but also for 3x3s, 2x3s, or even 1x2s and 1x3s. The battlements provide you with a great set of internal and external peak downs, which are useful to defend against online raids. I put considerable emphasis on their stability so that they remain intact and functional throughout the raid. And again, the ceiling of the base, despite being multi-TC, has no large gaps. But the best part of the base is that it is fully modular. There is no need to commit to building a large base early on. You start out with the most common footprint in Rust. No one is going to suspect a thing. And whenever you're ready, expand. Depending on how much you want to farm, build it 3, 4 or 5 floors tall. Leave most of it stone or fully upgrade it to sheet metal. It's your call. And if the wipe does not go well, continue living out of a humble 2x2 as generations of gamers have done since the dawn of Rust. The video will show you how to build a well-upgraded 4-story version. While adding a 4th floor substantially increases the upkeep, it also makes it more likely that the peak downs survive a raid for a long time. The maxed out version will result in a daily upkeep of 2k stone, 9k metal frags, and 194 high qual for the core 2x2. The externals will add another 3k stone and 3k frags each. If you are playing as a small group and are able to farm in the snow biome, this shouldn't give you too much trouble. In terms of raid cost, the fact that this base is built around a 2x2 with a single layer of honeycomb of course puts limits to its durability. The cheapest possible raid to the core TC costs 27 rockets. To take over the base, raiders need to invest an additional 16 for a total of 43 rockets. And then there are still loot rooms spread throughout the base they won't have access to. However, those numbers do not factor in the compound, the auto turrets, and the fact that you will hopefully be shooting back at the raiders. After all, these types of bases are designed for the fun of repelling online raids. We begin our journey at the compound airlock. An auto turret is guarding large parts of the compound against grubbers. On this side of the airlock we find the external TC. The compound is overlooked by the external peak downs of the base. They are held up by sheet metal wall frames, while the walls themselves are largely stone. If raiders keep blowing straight into the core, those wall frames will survive and keep stabilizing the peak downs. The airlock leads to the inner defense ring. This auto turret is meant to help to engage raiders who already entered the ring. The ring itself is sectioned off with double doors and chain link fences. This helps you to keep or re-establish control during a raid. In this corner we find another auto turret. Together with its twin on the other side of the base, they cover the whole inner defense ring and can become a mean surprise to unsuspecting raiders. This door leads to a chute that brings us to the third floor. Here I use this floor as one of two bedrooms. The honeycomb holds loot and other items. These corners lead to the fourth floor, but we'll check these out later. First, let's descend into the core. Here we're greeted by a corridor with two windowed loot rooms. This roof seal guards the chute leading to the core. This triangle above it would actually be ideal for an auto turret. Spawn inside of the core to break the twig floor frame that holds up the roof. You can now enter the core. Here we find another corridor with a windowed loot room and the TC in the corner. This auto turret is undrainable and hard to reach via splash damage, making raiding through the chute a nightmare. Now let's head back upstairs. If we jump through this corner, we end up on the fourth floor. It looks quite similar to the third floor. Again, we use it for beds. I would give each teammate one bed here and one bed on the floor below, because they have different advantages against different raid strategies. On the opposite side, the same staircase leads back down to the third floor. This makes it harder for raiders to cut you off from moving between the two floors. The main difference on the fourth floor are those single doors. They lead into the shooting floor. The inner ring of the shooting floor offers a nice mix of smaller and larger peaks. As long as the walls are intact, laddering into them should not be possible. These are the outer peaks above the airlock. They use the classic single door technique to shield you from fire from afar. Those double doors can be closed in case those peaks are compromised. Behind the roof ramp, we exploit the multi-TC design for incredibly sneaky peaks. The ramp itself doubles as a roof exit. It uses the same design as in the extended original Frustrator X. It allows to see large parts of the roof. The best part is, if you get killed on that roof ramp, your body will slide back down into the shooting floor. Those shotgun traps prevent raiders from following you easily, unless they wish to donate gear sets to your cause. Thus, simply respawn, pick up your gear set, and get back into the fight. Jumping out, we notice that the roof is kept very open. This is on purpose. As you can see, there are two auto turrets left and right. Together they cover the whole roof. By not leaving raiders any place to hide, roof raids become incredibly risky. And if raiders manage to destroy those turrets, you've got two extra ones behind the garage doors of the roof exits. Those roof ramps, while being simple, are excellent for longer range engagements, and they cover you effectively from ground fire. But of course, this is just my suggestion. You can design the roof however you like. So much for the base tour, on to the build. While you can build the base from any 2x2, here is the design I propose to use if you are starting fresh. Before you start, make sure that the land offers enough space for the necessary expansions. Start with a 1x1 with a double door. In case you build in some kind of valley, you will later need lots of space in front and behind the door, but not so much to the left or the right of it. The TC goes into the left corner. Add starter items as needed. Extend into a 2x1 with a double door on the opposite side. Use it for sleeping bags, furnaces, and the tier 1 workbench. Upgrade doors to sheet metal once the metal fragments are cooked. Now extend into a 2x2. Feel free to build a wooden triangle airlock with 2 single doors. This will be one of your main loot rooms. Use the space in front of it for the repair bench, but leave it otherwise empty. If you need to research items, just place the table into the corridor and pick it up when done. From the outside, you can place a triangle at half height into the TC room. This allows you to turn the TC room into a loot room as well. This provides you with a basic starter 2x2.
Your skill has increased.
Above the airlock, place a chute entrance made out of 2 half walls. Add 2 more double doors straight ahead from the chute exit. Surround the perimeter with walls. Eventually, both of those open squares will be window loot rooms. For now, we use one of them for utility items such as furnaces. Add a temporary jump up behind the door. Place the tier 2 workbench here. Leave the other square empty. Head back inside of the first floor and hatchet out the ceiling. Use a furnace to jump up. Hatchet out the inner door frame and replace it with a double door that swings outwards. Hatchet out the other door frame and replace it with a wall. You can now seal the base with a stability bunker. Place a floor frame and an upgraded roof on top. If you cannot place the floor frame or the roof, check if an object or one of your teammates might be in the way. Further, try to place the floor frame and the roof from different angles if it does not work immediately. The roof now covers the chute into the first floor and provides an extra barrier for raiders. Use it to seal the base before you go offline. When you come back online, spawn inside of the core and destroy the floor frame. The roof is no longer held up by any building block and will collapse, which means that it will not block the chute entrance any longer. This concludes the extension of the starter. From now on, I will assume that you obtained the necessary blueprints. First, replace the furnace with a ladder. Add 1 shotgun trap against the wall to guard the chute. Here, it should not interfere with the roof seal. Replace the double doors with garage doors. If you get your hand on an armored double door, use it for the door to the main loot room. Seal the window loot room with reinforced glass windows. To save time, I will upgrade everything to its final tier. This puts the responsibility on you to remember to upgrade building blocks in time. For example, upgrade the foundation and the back of the second main loot room to armored before adding honeycomb, because you cannot reach it from the inside of the base.
Your skill has
And please
increased.
remember, those upgrades are suggestions. Keep an eye on the upkeep and suspend the upgrades if you feel that the daily upkeep starts exceeding what you're willing to farm. If you are rich, I would aim at having the inner 2x2 armored. This includes the left two walls of the chute. The second floor should be upgraded to sheet metal. Further, add one layer of honeycomb. Eventually, you should upgrade these triangles to sheet metal. However, you will be able to do that at any time later during the build, so leave them stone for now if you want. In front of the second floor exit, place a wooden door frame and a new jump up for now. We will later close this bit off. Above it, build a roof exit. Since the entrance currently does not provide a door block airlock, protect it with a shotgun trap. Once you get your hand on a tier 3 workbench, replace the tier 1 workbench. And since we are here, the space next to it is perfect for an auto turret. For raids coming through the chute, it is undrainable and it is too far away to damage it without suicide runs. If sealed with a sheet metal roof stability bunker, this 2x2 base is a 21 rocket full rate at this point, not counting the traps. This concludes the first phase of the build. In the second phase of the build, we lay out the details of the multi-TC footprint. The following build steps are optimized to require the least amount of foundations to be destroyed by tools. Place a triangle into the gap and build out 10 squares. Demolish the first 9 in the triangle with a hammer. Come back with 6 triangles, 1 square, 8 triangles, 1 square and a triangle. Add another square and 3 triangles to the outer square. Turn the center triangle into the TC unit. Use 2 windows to protect it. The foundations should be sheet metal and the roof above the TC armored. Use the other triangle to better protect the TC from the outside. This pushes the raid cost from the outside of the compound to 12 rockets. Upgrade all foundations between the TC and the base to sheet metal. If you don't have the space to build out 10 squares, you can split this step in 2. Add a triangle against the outer honeycomb, build out 5 squares to the side, build 6 additional squares out, then 2 to the other side. Come back with 6 triangles. Build 3 squares towards the center of the base, build out 3 additional squares, then 2 to the side. Come back with 8 triangles, 1 square and a triangle. As you can see, this last leg is the same pattern that we ended up with using the first method. Destroy the triangle that you placed at the very beginning. As before, add 3 triangles to these outer squares and turn them into a TC bunker. Upgrade all the foundations of that last arm. Destroy those other foundations or disconnect them to let them decay. Next, we complete the foundation plan. On each of the sides of the 2x2, place a triangle and 2 squares. On the sides of the external TCs, just place a triangle.
Welcome to a solo Rust adventure. And this time, I'm going back to my roots with a classic solo survival series. Except today, I'm playing Rust the way I think it was meant to be played. A chilled out survival game with exploration and adventure. So I'm not going to be taking myself too seriously. And instead, I'm going to set up a boat base, explore some monuments that I don't normally run, and try to have an enjoyable experience. Oh, and I almost forgot, I'm playing on main, because I enjoy the pain. My name is William, and I hope you enjoy my vanilla Rust experience.
I have cloth.
Get out of my way. What are you doing?
Ooh, wait, is that is this a wheel jump?
No. Okay, that guy's good. I don't know
I
how
think
he...
it is a wheel
I
jump.
don't know how he knew that, man.
Hello guys, hello. Be
What?
my friend.
Crazy, dude.
Let's go.
So I logged into the official server just minutes after Freshway. I had no blueprints and nothing on me but a rock and a torch. I first headed to Outpost to complete the Lumberjack challenge and find the bottle of vodka. This would reward me with a metal hatchet. I then took on the second task and farmed 2,000 wood, rewarding me with a crossbow. This would set me up nicely for my first base. Alright, just gotta grab 2,000 wood, and that's a crossy. There we go. Thank you very much. Right, I'm just gonna heal up at this campfire first, and then
Hey, hello. Can
head
I get
towards the
free scrap?
river.
Hello?
With full health and a crossbow, I headed towards my ideal base location. And this time, that was a river surrounded with food and resources. Okay, gonna get a little bit of wood now. I've pretty much got enough. Oh my... Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know how he wasn't dying to Outpost there. Just gotta heal up now. After returning to Outpost to recover my health, I crafted up a tool cupboard, a door, and a key lock. I then headed south towards the river, and used the cover of night to put up my base. Okay, I'm getting attacked by a pig. Alright, we're good. Oh, wait. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just gonna build it right here on the river. It seems like a nice spot. Just a 2x1, nothing too fancy for now. But this base will end up being really, really cool. I love the design that I'm doing this series. I think you guys are gonna like it too. It's pretty unique, but it's kind of fun. Oh, there's a bear nearby. I could do with getting that in the morning. Okay, let's see how well I can place this tool cupboard in the dark. I think there. Okay. Oh, look at that. Beautiful placement. Can't really get any better. Okay, let's get a cauldron down. Gotta get the vibes going with the campfire. Oh, yeah, it's too dark for that. My humble starter was now secured. I waited until morning before heading out. In my first full day, I wanted to gather the resources for a furnace, meaning I was going to need to hunt some animals. I also wanted to gather the scrap and stone to secure my base and make a tier 1. Good thing about living next to a river, these animals are really easy to kill.
Have good luck, bro.
Yeah, good luck to you too, man. Come back here. Hey, there we go. Getting beaten up by bears this wipe. Already off to a better start. Oh my gosh, that thing just Tokyo drifted. Looks like he's going after the deer. There we go, 2 bears. Can't complain. Well, that's enough animal fat for multiple furnaces now. Let's get a poncho, and a shirt, and some shorts. Right, what now? What do I need? I might just explore the area a bit. Might head to the lighthouse. We'll see.
Your skill has increased.
I haven't really warmed up today, so this is gonna be, He's still alive? Okay.
Your skill has increased.
Don't know what that guy was trying. Okay, well that's a spare bow and some armor, which is always helpful. I could probably do getting some stone, actually. Oh, that's 3. Okay. I have made a mistake. I am sorry. Okay. You know what, though? I reckon those guys are kind of loaded. Oh, I kind of want to go for them. Is that stupid? Screw it. What have I got to lose? Ooh, they're crossing the water. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay, that's too low. Oh, what? I missed. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, man. My first death on the server. I'd only lost a crossbow, and so it wasn't a major setback. And I'd noticed a boat had respawned on the river. I planned to use this later on for some ocean farming. But before that, I wanted to secure my base with stone, so I wasn't vulnerable to any eco-raiding. Hopefully no one steals that boat while I'm just grabbing.
Your skill has increased.
That'll be annoying. Oh, there's another one. I'm gonna let them fight, and then I'll clean up. Okay, he's coming for me, never mind. Oh no. Ooh. Don't underestimate the stone pickaxe, it's actually kind of good against the spears. It's that fast attack rate. Okay, one more node and I'm going home. Nice. Okay, well that's enough stone to at least upgrade my base a little bit. Got a free double door as well, which is an airlock. It's a good start.
Your skill has increased.
I don't have a hammer. Ah, there we go. We'll just get the 1x1 stone for now. I'll upgrade the rest of it later on. With my base slightly less vulnerable to eco-raids, I crafted up some low-grade and grabbed the boat for my first ocean adventure. Alright, the boat is still there, that is good. Let's go on an adventure. I really hope no one's out doing rigs or labs, that would be really frustrating. A mace. Well, gives me something to hit barrels with. I feel like this is going to be my best way of getting scrap. Run into anyone so far, which is good. I'll get a few more. Did not mean to do that. Ooh, a metal hatchet. That's actually kind of helpful. I already have one, but this is either one to research or use. Okay, heading home. Hopefully I don't die. I love that I can ride straight to my base. The first expedition had been successful, and being so far from any major monuments, I knew that farming the ocean was going to be my best way of gathering scrap. I would need to build a boat base as soon as possible to keep my boat secure. I even got a bear rug. Already feels like home. It's another bear. I'm getting a lot of leather and animal fat from this. It's odd that there are so many animals nearby. This area is so peaceful apart from all of the nakeds, but I don't know. It's fun so far. I grabbed some of the components I'd gained from the ocean run and took them on a trip to Lighthouse to recycle. Hopefully there aren't too many people around here. Some berries. Okay, also give me some good cloth. Alright, just got the sewing kits done. Cool. Barn. Oh my, what? Bro, who has a gun? Like 15 minutes in. What's on earth? Okay, more like half an hour, but still, guy's insane. The second death was a bit more of a setback than the first. Some items had been left on my body though, and so I grabbed them and continued farming some mech. I should probably think about crafting a furnace now. Got plenty of metal. I only need to farm some more wood though. I think that's a nice furnace skin to use for this wipe. It's the green grass. Okay, that'll do. I'm heading home. With a good amount of metal farmed, I just needed the wood now to smelt it in my furnace. Oh, farming wood is so boring, I swear. Alright, let's get the furnace loaded up with some more metal. And then I'll probably do getting some stone, actually. With my furnace running and plenty of backup fuel, I headed out to look for some stone to expand my base. Stone was the one resource that was relatively lacking in the area that I had built, and is the problem with living so far away from mountains. No, he went down pretty quick. Didn't have nothing. It was a good stone run. Gave me a little bit to upgrade with. The second furnace is down. That doubles my metal production.
Hello, my friend.
One problem with this area is that I just have every naked running past my base.
I'm killing. Kill.
What's going on, man?
Да ты уебанище, блядь, нахуй ты стреляешь? Why are you shooting?
Oh. Oh my god. I just mowed them down with that bow. What on earth? I've never had so much practice with the bow before. Oh my gosh, this is funny, man. Oh dear. Dodge and weave. Oh dear. I feel like I'm gonna be endlessly fighting prim kids this wipe. The river, being so plentiful with resources, meant that it was a hot spot for fresh spawns and nakeds. On the other hand, it was pretty good practice for my bow aim. With a good amount of farm in my base, I figured it was probably time to try and build up the scrap for a workbench. Down so bad for components, I'm gonna start farming these road signs. I guess we'll check out the mining outpost, but it seems pretty busy. Probably gonna die. Okay. Oh, okay, he's with others. Not really surprised, I'll be honest. Wait, what? How did that hit me? Okay, I'm dead. Oh, nail gun. Damn. Not a lot I can do. Oh, hello, you. What are you doing? Get out of my base. Fool. With a server like this, recycling an outpost is probably a better idea. A lot safer. Okay. I'm gonna kill this guy before I go home. I need any wood I can get. Thank you. It's about to build a base. I'm going home now. Well, that is enough scrap for a workbench, which is good. Scrap's gonna be a little tricky with where I live, but it's not much of a problem. Hello there. After my furnace had been smelting a while, I was finally able to craft myself a metal door, and make my base immune to eco raids. In the primitive area that I lived, I was pretty confident that no one would be raiding with explosives. Right, I'm gonna sort out my boxes a little bit. I could do with getting some large boxes instead of these small ones. They're getting quite annoying. Okay, fill that one up, and then move the other one, and that will be perfect. Nice. And with the resources now required, I crafted myself the level 1 workbench. Okay, time for the workbench. I've waited long enough. I think I'll craft a crossy. I wasn't particularly desperate to progress to tier 2 and get my hands on higher grade weapons, but I wanted some upgraded tools and maybe some tier 1 weapons, and so I headed out to grab some more scrap. Get over here. Actually, I think he's a little bit too close to outpost. I don't want to get killed by that. Oh, I got a rug. Huge.
Гнида ебаная, сука, мусор позорный нахуй.
I'm sure he just said something very polite. Okay, a little bit of wood, a little bit of scrap, but most importantly the rug. Nice. That guy's gone. My next aim was to finally build the boathouse of the base, but I was going to need some more stone for this, and so I headed out to farm. This guy is heading straight for me. Oh, he's Revy. I kind of want him to push me, actually. Oh, that was close. Ooh. Oh no, he's got a teammate on the base. Even if I killed him, his teammate would have shot me, so kind of just had to leave. Okay, good farming run though. Now the base I'm building starts out pretty simple, but as you'll see in the next episode, it's actually a really cool and unique boathouse base. I got the design from a fantastic YouTuber called Gen X Games Meister, While his bases aren't the strongest or most efficient, they're all really fun and enjoyable bases to live in, and might give you a slightly new outlook on the game. So definitely go check him out and send some love. I'm honestly really excited to make this base. I saw it a couple days ago on YouTube, and it just looked so like cool and cozy, like perfect for one of these series. Feels weird building a boat base. It's been such a long time since I've lived on a river. Probably like over a year ago, I think. It's fun. It's nice. If anyone tells you they enjoy farming wood, they're either lying or they're insane. And so I went to farm some stone to trade in an outpost for plenty of wood. This guy looks like he might have been farming for a while. I think it's worth chasing him. Oh, there we go. Not as much as I thought he would have, but... Ooh, there is someone else. I think I'm just gonna avoid this guy. I've got too much farm on me. Oh lord, that is a saw. Goodbye. Oh my gosh, people are progressing nearby. That's a saw and a Thompson. Well, I made it home. A little bit more stone for upgrades. I'm gonna need quite a lot more for my lighthouse though. There we go, got a proper airlock now, with metal doors. With my base even more secure, I headed to Lighthouse to look for a green card. I plan to use this later for the underwater labs. I think this guy's... Okay, I just gotta find one more deer, but I'm gonna go home with the scrap I have now. Is that the same Ioka guy from earlier? It is. Someone outside. There's no... Is that the same Ioka guy again? Oh, that poor guy. He has a vendetta against me, I swear. Why does he keep coming back? That can't be the same guy. I refuse to believe it. Come on, push me. Oh. It was the same guy. Oh, this guy has a problem. That's one hit. Ooh, that was close. Another hit. I think it's just two. Another hit. Ow. Oh, they must be so low. I think they're just running. Ooh, he has a nail gun. I'm just gonna go home, I think. Okay, still need to find one more deer. But I got a lot of animal fat from that run, which is great. Furnace loaded up again. Hey, let's go, finally. And after finally completing the deer task, I returned to the barn and collected my reward. With the scrap that I'd gained, I crafted a research table and learnt the water pipe shotgun immediately. Okay, water pipe blueprint. Nice. Can craft a bunch of those. Let's spend some time to cook up the meat in the barbecue. I'm actually having a lot of fun so far this wipe. It's been kind of nice to just take a step back and not worry too much. I'm looking forward to building the base as well. It's going to be cool. I just need to find a boat now. Get all the food down there. That can be my food box from now on. I don't think I'm running out anytime soon. Boom. I've got another box down. Gonna help with storage. I was beginning to run out a bit. That's a lot of shots going off right between me and Outpost. I have a bad feeling. Oh no, come on, man. Ow. Ooh, thank God. Right next to Outpost as well. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh man. I'd unfortunately died just outside the outpost with all of the resources I'd farmed. Luckily when I spawned, I spotted a rib had been parked up in the river nearby. I used this chance and stole the rib for myself. Can't have this naked taking the rib. That's mine, no?
No, please, no, please.
Thank you. I would use this rib to head on another ocean farming journey, to get myself loads of scrap in peace. Feels good to be back in the water again. I feel like it's good to every now and then just kind of take a wipe less seriously. Remember that at the end of the day, the game's for fun. I think one of the reasons why I liked that guy's channel so much that I'm building the base from is because the bases are so kind of wacky and sometimes silly that it almost reminds me of the old Rust days when people didn't really care how strong a base was. It was more just like, can you be creative and do something fun? I miss that, honestly. I'm getting a lot of components. This is great. At some point I do want to do the labs though, but I think I need a better weapon. Okay, I think it's finally time to head home. That is a lot of components. Plenty of low grade left. Bro, honestly, this game is such a vibe. Oh, never mind. Back to the real world. Gunshots and craziness. I should probably go check it out, to be honest. Yeah, that is definitely my best way of getting scrap. Wow, that is a lot of components. After returning home from the successful scrap run, I heard gunshots and fights break out nearby. I grabbed my shotgun and went to explore. Alright then, let's see if I can do something. It would be nice to end this day off getting a gun. Oh, that sounded like a turret, actually. I don't think it's worth pushing a turret. Probably just gonna get beamed. Ooh, Thompson at this base, though. I reckon I could do something here. Saw. Oh, I missed him. No, dude. If I had a little bit more health, I'd have won that. Ah, if only I was full. As my day was coming to an end, I grabbed some more low grade and decided to go on one last run with the rip before heading off for the night. Tomorrow was going to be another long and eventful day, but it was getting late and I was getting pretty tired. Right, let's just get the metal pick and then I'm going to go on one last run. I think I'm just going to take the rib out, maybe somewhere in the snow across the map, see if I can get some farming done. Because there aren't a whole lot of nodes nearby where I live, which is one little problem, but it's not the end of the world. And then whatever happens, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's been a long day.
Okay, guys. I have a bit of scheduled stuff I've got to do today, for my YouTube career. So gonna stop the stream with 3 people here, and I really hate doing that. I realize it's counterproductive, but I do have other stuff I've got to do today that involves recording as opposed to streaming. So, keep an eye out for my YouTube debut. We'll be putting some videos on YouTube here this month and stuff. Already recorded a good 9-hour one, and we're gonna start running like 2 to 4 hour sessions and stuff as I go. Interesting ethos of DIY and it's all tutorial and DIY and role play stuff. So that like sort of a more event based as opposed to just sort of streaming what it is I'm doing every day. So thank you to my Final Fantasy players here who are supporting me playing Horizon and such. I really do appreciate it. I love you guys. Thank you. And I will be back either this evening or tomorrow, some such, but it will be a long day of recording here. So, going on about the streamer career, I'm going to start putting in the work to actually get stuff out there. And I've been resting on my laurels here for too long, for like 8 months, and not doing anything other than streaming. And I realized that's not the career. The career itself is just putting out lots and lots of videos. So we're going to begin off on that sort of thing, and I'll be streaming quite a lot less, But that's okay. I'm still planning to do 14 hours of work every day. So you guys will see me. Like, for instance, I was on here for, this wasn't that long, but about an hour and 20 minutes, but at least I was here. So thank you for your time. I love you guys. Peace.